Hello, I'm Abby Altman.
And I'm Matthew Nielsen, and you're watching EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
Today, we take aim at Ames and take a look at some of the unique locations that make this town so special.
We'll start with a bar that gives you a blast from the past.
Then, we'll head to a cafe and see how the owner fulfilled his lifelong dream.
We'll also take a look at a jiu-jitsu gym, where the owner is connecting to the community through martial arts.
All that and more on EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
In our first story, we take a look at a local bar taking some inspiration from the past.
Henry Gonzalez gives us a closer look at the 80s and 90s themed Time Out Bar.
Among the hidden gems in downtown Ames lies the Time Out Bar, where people can leave their stresses and worries at the door and enter into a world of 80s and 90s nostalgia.
The bar, first established in nearby Nevada, Iowa, owner Chris Harding made changes to the operation before calling Ames home.
We started off in Nevada. We wanted to be a place for the community to go, but when we opened in Nevada, it was just a lot of kids coming in and not so many parents. So we opted to go and get our liquor license, which then brought in families that brought their kids in. And it was a lot more fun watching the parents play with the kids rather than just have kids running around like we were a daycare.
After moving to Ames in 2017, Ames residents have embraced Time Out for breaking the mold of a typical bar.
So I don't go to school here or anything like that, but my girlfriend and their sibling, they come here quite often, and it's a pretty comfortable place to be. I've been here since 2022, and I've probably been here about a handful of times. And I really enjoy playing the basketball game and just shooting a bunch of hoops here because that's what I grew up with. And having that at the bar scene is kind of like having the best of both worlds, you know?
Well, we're on a date, and we went to Cornbread first, and then I needed to beat him in a game, so we decided to come here.
And she hasn't beaten me yet.
Yeah, that's true, but it's coming.
It's a unique bar for Ames. You don't have arcade bars, and I like this kind of energy where you can do things and have fun. And we know the karaoke scene here, so we're gonna maybe wait around for that.
With such a wide array of activities for patrons to choose from, Harding has many walks of life come through her doors.
We started seeing probably more people from Nevada than we did in Nevada, just because Ames is where everybody shops and eats and all that good stuff. But my only caveat to the whole business was to have the name Time Out, because in my mind it was to make it a place where people take a time out from their daily stresses and just go and have a good time.
This is Henry Gonzalez reporting for EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
Wow, Matthew, that makes me nostalgic for a decade I'm not even from.
I totally agree, Abby. Now for a calmer setting. Caitlin Nanke takes us to Dog-Eared Books, right in the heart of Ames.
In downtown Ames, Iowa, lies a hidden treasure, a place where stories come to life and community finds a voice. Welcome to Dog-Eared Books, a locally owned independent bookstore that's been bringing readers together since it first opened its doors in 2021. Dog-Eared Books is more than just a bookstore. It's a community hub home to over 10,000 unique titles, from cookbooks to adult literature, and offers a cozy escape to the citizens of Ames. We had the chance to sit down with one of the owners, Amanda Lepper, to hear what makes this independent bookstore so special.
So my business partner and I handpick every single book that comes into the store. But in addition, we're reactive to the interests of our community and our other booksellers. So if our community starts ordering in a particular book that we hadn't chosen to bring in, we stock it in the store because we know there's an interest here.
Beyond the shelves lined with everything from literary classics to new releases, Dog-Eared Books feels like a small slice of home. The staff here are always ready to help you find your next favorite read. Bailey Stirk, one of the employees, tells us what makes working here so rewarding.
The fact that we all love to talk about books so much, and we're happy to give recommendations. We also want to know what people have been reading that they've enjoyed, so we want to hear from customers too who are coming to visit us.
The love for books runs deep here, but what sets Dog-Eared Books apart is the way it fosters community and connections. The store offers 10 unique book clubs each month, as well as author events, writers groups, puzzle completions, and trivia nights. We met Cassie, a frequent customer who shared what keeps her coming back.
I love the friendly staff. They always know everything about whatever I want to know. Whether it's a children's book, there's someone who knows lots about children's books, romance, fantasy, there's someone who knows something about every genre.
From children's story time to writers' workshops, Dog-Eared Books offers so much more than what meets the eye. It's a place that embodies the spirit of downtown Ames, genuine, warm, and full of stories waiting to be discovered. So whether you're a lifelong reader or just beginning, Dog-Eared Books has a cozy corner waiting for you. After all, it's not just about books, it's about people who share them. This is Caitlin Nanke reporting for EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
Awesome. What a cozy looking spot to find a book. Thanks, Caitlin.
Up next, we take a look at Ames' annual music walk. Caleb Polking has the story.
Each year, dozens of local musicians and bands pair up with businesses in downtown Ames to create the annual Ames Music Walk.
It's called Dead Mom Girl. The inspiration behind the name just comes from my background. I have a dead mom, and that's kind of been kind of a personality trait of mine.
The kids especially love getting out to Main Street to experience all the music.
I like seeing all the different instruments, because like here seeing the bassoon and the sound of it when it all just like comes together, just like the final chorus and seeing all the instruments.
Local musicians see this event as an opportunity to get their names out there and maybe start getting more traction.
Yes, so today I'm playing here with Waffle Savant is the name of the band. So we've got some kind of fill-ins here, but we're going by Waffle Savant. It's me and then the keyboardist Jonah, and then Corey's filling in on bass, and my buddy Isaac's playing with us today too. Oh, well, I've been playing with Jonah since, let's see, I would say kind of everybody since about 2018, kind of on and off throughout the years.
This is Caleb Polking reporting for EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
Thanks, Caleb. What an awesome Ames tradition.
After the break, we'll bring you a closer look at a few places to grab a bite to eat. This is EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
When the pandemic arrived, time stood still. But the innovators at Iowa State didn't. Their drive went into overdrive, developing models that track and forecast the virus, making data more accessible to scientists and doctors worldwide, collaborating to expand testing capacity for faster results, exploring a viral testing platform as portable as your phone. This is what a changing world needs. Innovation in overdrive.
Welcome back as we continue to look into some of the amazing places here in Ames.
Next up, we look at a store where you can grab some coffee or a vintage record and find out how the owner came to own the Vinyl Cafe.
The Vinyl Cafe isn't your typical coffee hangout spot. Here, you can find a collection of hundreds of records and a small collection of record players, all throughout the store and all for sale. Blake Delaney has been running the show here at the Vinyl Cafe for the last several years, after stumbling across it and recognizing its potential.
I want to buy your shop. This is super cool.
From the moment he first set his eyes on it, Blake Delaney knew that owning the Vinyl Cafe was how he would fulfill his lifelong dream.
And so I wrote about the things that I wanted in my life. And one of those was to own my own record store someday.
From a young age, Delaney knew what he wanted, and eventually that wish came true when the previous owner, Ben Hull, called him one day and said,
So I'm either going to shut down the shop or I'm going to sell it to you. Those are the only two things I'm going to do. And I immediately said, well, let's work a deal out because this has been a dream of mine.
And just like that, in a matter of weeks, Delaney left behind his 12-year-long journey of contracting to pursue his lifelong journey. But there were times when he wasn't sure what he was doing.
I didn't know how to make coffee. I didn't know how to be a business owner of something like this. This was all new to me, and I had never made a coffee in my life.
Although the new skills of making coffee and running a business came around, Delaney always had so much in mind for his shop.
I own a small record store, but it's still a record store. The coffee shop just happened to come with it, and now I own what I consider more of a community center. I own the key, but everybody else owns this.
Today, the Vinyl Cafe has become a comforting place for people to come chat, chill, or just get some work done.
Good music, there's background noise always, coffee whenever, and it's really easy to get to, and it's just a cool place.
Delaney is proud of what his shop has become. A coffee shop, a record store, a community center, or just a place to chat. But at the end of the day, he gives a lot of thanks to the community of Ames to help him in his journey.
Especially in downtown Ames, where if you let yourself get involved, you'll meet other people in this community, and pretty soon you are part of a team that has each other's back.
This is Matthew Nielsen, along with Nick Harmon, reporting for EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
Wow, what a neat place.
It really was nothing like I've seen before. Maybe after stopping by for a drink, you could head down the street to Sweet Caroline's to grab a bite to eat. Chase Rocker has the story.
Main Street Names offers many options to fill your weekend. With options spanning from tattoos to window shopping, Main Street has it all. If you're looking for a nice bite to eat while the Cyclones went on Saturday, Sweet Caroline's is your spot. Sweet Caroline's opened in 2021 with Southern inspiration while drawing in all types of people.
So Sweet Caroline's is a Nashville-inspired sports bar restaurant. We kind of pull both crowds. On game days, you'll see more of like the sports bar scene, but during the week, we're very family-friendly.
Sweet Caroline's also just wants to give the people the perfect game day environment in Ames.
We like to get it pretty bumping in here, so it'll be a pretty loud, energetic environment.
Not only does Sweet Caroline's provide a great game day environment for customers, but it's also a new environment for their staff.
I was like, wow, this place gets rocking on game day, especially when we're winning. And it's like, I play my own music back in the kitchen, and like this past weekend, I could hear the screams of the customers over my music in the back. And that includes their music when they're playing music or whatever. And like, they just get loud and crazy sometimes, so.
While customers are going strong at the bar, employees are coming along having a fun time themselves.
It goes by pretty fast, and it's a fun environment. The people you work with are super fun, and then there's always like music playing, and it kind of like keeps you going and motivated.
You might be looking for good food or cold drinks. You might be looking for an energetic environment or a calmer one. One thing is for sure, however, Sweet Caroline's is where good times have never seemed so good. This has been Chase Rocker with EverGreenlee News, where our stories stay fresh for you.
Now, here's Caleb Polking to talk about our presser with Eric Smith, Vice President of Marketing and Communications with the Ames Regional Economic Alliance, who helped us take our aim at Ames.
Earlier this fall, EverGreenlee News welcomed Eric Smith to campus for a press conference to talk about Ames and what the city has to offer students in the way of activities and entertainment.
We operate the Main Street program, and so when we're here talking about what can we do in Ames, downtown Ames and Main Street is a big part of that. We operate the Ames Main Street Farmers Market, which some of you may have been attending over the past several Saturdays, and if not, I certainly encourage you to do that. Young Professionals Organization, we operate that. We do work in workforce development and public policy and a whole range of other things. But obviously today we're going to talk about, based on your questions, is what can we do in Ames?
What can you say about the music walk and what that means for the city of Ames?
I love this question. So, if you didn't know, I'm assuming maybe you did, but Music Walk is tonight from 5 to 8 o'clock. So Music Walk is an initiative that happened in downtown Ames several years ago, but really this is one of several community-focused events that is intended to bring the community, yourself, college students, to downtown Ames, because I think one of the biggest separations that we've experienced is, how do we get community members to come to campus town, and then the inverse of that is how do we get students who live here 10 months a year to other parts of the community, including downtown Ames. And so Music Walk is one of those.
We thank Eric Smith of the Ames Alliance for joining us today in the EverGreenlee News studios. This has been Caleb Holking with EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
Minute.
At Iowa State, innovation is dynamic. It's collaborative. It's inviting ideas from all corners and working across disciplines. Because we've learned when ideas are shared, we all benefit. Innovate at Iowa State.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again.
Next, we're going to take a look at a unique gym in town, Alliance Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Take it away, Lucas.
Jiu-Jitsu is a sport that many might not know. Alliance Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, located just off Lincoln Way in the heart of Ames, Iowa, provides more than just a hobby for the Ames community.
Yes.
There you go.
And get a quick drink if you need it, right?
For Vladimir Williams, Jiu-Jitsu is more than just a sport, and running the Alliance Jiu-Jitsu gym is more than just a job.
Yeah, so honestly, it means a lot. A lot of people, like I said, they think that we fight in here. It's much more than that because, some days I feel like a therapist because, I see a lot of the same people almost every day.
Williams has been building a community within his Jiu-Jitsu gym, and he hopes to continue that spread of love to his students.
This way. Oh, Uchigare.
Open to all members of the Ames community, Alliance can provide something unique to all walks of life.
A lot of students that go to Iowa State, that is one thing that is an option for all the students when they're coming here. A lot of students coming because they have a lot of stress with the homework and the testing time. So kind of reduce that stress and use Jiu-Jitsu as a way out to all the stress with homework and classes. And I see a lot of people, especially students that go to Iowa State, they grow really fast.
Alliance has and will continue to grow just beyond a group of students.
It's super fun. It is a great workout. It works my brain, which I love. I've met a ton of really fun people. Vlad does a really good job of managing the gym and managing class. It's a really great family to be a part of.
A perfect 5-star rating and a multitude of classes offered, and numbers approaching 100 students, Alliance Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu of Ames is always looking to welcome new students of all ages. This has been Lucas Thompson and Abby Altman with EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
We're heading to the final stop on our tour through what makes Ames so special, Kylie has the story.
On Northridge Parkway in Ames, Iowa sits one of 3 sister restaurants, The Cafe. Truly embodying the hometown spirit, The Cafe prioritizes the customer experience.
I feel like we care. We care way more than I've experienced in other restaurants. We are very big on customer service. Yes, we make great food. Our chef takes great pride in all of that, but also at the same time, we make sure that our customer is happy and they are the most important person in the building at the time.
With music, a fun atmosphere, good food, and an appreciation for supporting local businesses, customers are drawn to the restaurant and all it has to offer.
I like to support the cafe because I like to support local. Pretty sure they've been around for 20 years. And they support local farmers, so that makes their food so much better, just to know that they're good for the community too.
A seasonal menu reflects Iowa culture and flavors, with variations made from fresh produce such as pumpkins, berries, apples, squash, and zucchini. Fresh local ingredients come from various restaurants within an hour radius of the cafe, which is something the customers and the staff equally appreciate.
I like going to the cafe because the food is just delicious. I feel like that's just my favorite place to go. And a lot of their ingredients they get from local farmers, and I just like supporting all the local farmers in the area.
With hands-on leadership that supports the local community, it is easy to see why the cafe has been in business for over 20 years.
Other than, the cafe, we are one of 3 sister restaurants. We have Provisions and Hot Mods as well. Everybody, the owners are very hands-on. He's grown up here. He knows the area, he's not somebody who came out and just bought some land and is like, I'm gonna monopolize on this. He cares about the community. And
So the next time you find yourself in need of fresh, local food, stop at the cafe. This has been Kylie Allen with EverGreenlee News. Our stories stay fresh for you.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today.
Thank you for joining us as we venture through the many businesses and events in Ames, Iowa. Check out a few of these places the next time you need something to do.
This has been EverGreenlee News, where our stories stay fresh for you. We're heading to the final stop on our tour through what makes Ames so special. Kylie has the story.
On Northridge Parkway in Ames, Iowa sits one of 3 sister restaurants, The Cafe. Truly embodying the hometown spirit, The Cafe prioritizes the customer experience.
I feel like we care. We care way more than I've experienced in other restaurants. We are very big on customer service. Yes.